Greetings fellow gamers, get ready for an in-depth look at an awesome game, and it's called Minabo A Walk Through Life. Minabo A Walk Through Life is a life simulator where you play as a turnip. The game perfectly models social interactions in society, but drowns in the monotony and repetitiveness. We tell you more in this review. It's strange to see a game about the sentient, upright turnip, but what the developers won't come up with writes, in Minabo A Walk Through Life, you live many lives as a root vegetable with eyes, arms and legs, with each life beginning and the ending the same way, from birth and crawling out of the ground until death, when only a small tombstone remains after the turnip. But what kind of legacy your character will leave is up to you. Although turnips are plants, they behave exactly like people. The baby turnip is not yet able to walk. It crawls on the ground, tries to keep up with their parents. At this stage, it's important to reach out the relatives in order to develop the three main characteristics. Physical contact, intimacy and belonging, which directly affects the maximum life expectancy. If you keep all parameters at the level close to the maximum, then the turnip will live a long and happy life. When the hero grows up a bit and gets on his feet, other characters will appear next to him. You can get to know them and make friends. Pets will also appear here. It's not easy to tame them, but the pet will love the protagonist until death, and its level of affection will never decrease, unlike the human turnips, with which it's unnecessary to constantly maintain a close relationship. A teenage turnip, due to its age, will become irritated and dissatisfied, but will be able to strengthen a friendship with other turnips and even start a first romance. When the hero grows up a little, he will have the opportunity to turn the novel into love, to acquire offspring. Well, then adulthood awaits him and finally old age, after which his path will end. Minabo A Walk Through Life very clearly elevates the simplifications, demonstrate the social life of a small society. A family and characters close to it. The turnip moves only to the right and cannot go back, which symbolize the irreversibility of the past life and the inability to change any decisions. The hero grows very quickly, and the player will not have time to get to know absolutely all the characters he meets, develop relationships with them to the maximum, just like in real life. Some of the turnips close to the protagonist gradually lag behind him and remain behind. This is what happens to us when we are too detached from our parents, brothers and sisters, friends, impaired with our own affairs. The game contains 2.5 missions at the sandbox mode, offering a progressively more difficult tasks. Live beyond a given age, have 3 children, not make friends, die surrounded by relatives, and so on. Each task is like a puzzle. You need to understand exactly how to interact with others, which actions to prioritize, and which ones to ignore in order to achieve the goal. It becomes even more difficult when the hero begins to pursue a stump, some kind of inventable fate that will eat the protagonist if he lingers in one place for a long time. It's interesting to select the keys to life goals, but not to play directly. All the player is required to do is interact with other reps using the 3 commands that affect the undermentioned stats. Each action has a chance of failing, which will entail new attempts to build relationships, while the turnip you want to interact with may run somewhere ahead, and you will have to look for it among the other similar turnips. As the protagonist grows older, he acquires some personality traits. For example, he can become more relaxed or conversely shy. However, these traits don't seem to have much of an effect on gameplay, and the conditions required to acquire them are not obvious. There are also head that give passive bonuses. They can be taken from some characters by winning their rock paper scissors, but the effect on the brightest of heads of the gameplay is also not clear. In addition, Minabo A Walk Through Life has a very slow pace. One life from the cradle to the grave can take about half an hour, and during this time you will poke at the characters, choosing from 3 actions and pressing the movement key repeatedly to make the character move a little faster than the throttle. In fact, in the very first mission you will see everything that the game has to offer, and then life goals will only change and small innovations will appear. As a result, the title leaves an ambiguous impression. Beautiful art style, nice soundtrack, funny characters, an interesting overall idea, and the visual representations of the interactions in society. All this stumbles over runtime gameplay and representativeness. Minabo, a walkthrough life, can be seen as a heavily simplified alternative to the Sim series, but the game can get boring very quickly. Thank you guys for watching this review, see you in the next video.